What's going on, everyone? Thanks again for joining our channel. We really appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you can always get an update on the new videos. So I'm Patrick Nawaskan. It's a pleasure to be here, like I say, and I'm here with Patrick Mwamba and Loli Katalika. So guys, go ahead and say a word for everybody watching.
Oh yeah, once again, thank you, MTP Consulting. We're happy to have you guys on board again today. Thank you for always being supportive for what we do here. Without you, we could not be here. Without you, we could not even have a first video started. So it's like Patrick said, we want to thank you guys for always being there and supporting us.
Thank you for the intro. Those two guys are big timer. It's a pleasure to join you guys.
Perfect. Good stuff. Love it, man. Hey guys, it's been amazing so far. We've done well. First of all, let me ask, right? We want to keep it simple because I've spoken to so many people. A few people reached out to me. They see questioning as far as the language, right? Because it's a barrier, as you guys know. So we have English speaker, we have French speaker, we have Lingala speakers. So what do you guys think? Should we go Lingala, all Lingala today? Should we go all French today? Or should we go all English?
Not everybody at once.
I think, who are we targeting? Lingala or French? I think we either or.
Yeah, we can, I think because the ESPP or stock purchase plan is mainly, it might be technical in English. Yeah, so let's do one in English and then we can always, once we've done the English version, I think we can always think about how we can bring that in French or add some Lingala. But to explain some of the processes, I think it might be easier for us in English.
Perfect. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. All right, we get it going. Well, guys, what we want to do today for you guys is, you see my two friends, we've decided, like we promised you guys, that we will come with the first video as far as stock market. We promised you guys we're going to jump in stock market. Here we are. Video 1 on stock market. So we're going to keep it simple today. What we're doing today is just to show you guys the simple stuff that you, with your family, is supposed to do, right? To get started in the stock market. How to open an account for you as the father and mother. And if you have children at home, how to also open an account for your minors, anyone 18 or under. So those should be considered as a custodial account. So I'm going to get started here. I'll show you guys. Mainly we like using, I personally like TD Ameritrade. It's one of the platforms I use, me personally. And I've recommended so many other people that I've helped. And my whole family, we all use TD Ameritrade. So give me a few seconds. I'm going to jump on the other screen, share the screen with you guys so you can see what TD Ameritrade look like and get you guys started as far as starting an account. All right?
So, sounds good. And real quick, for those who might not be aware of what a stock is, are you able to share just a quick synopsis of what the stock is and how it works?
Perfect. I'll have Mr. Loli jump on that if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
I'm getting this ready.
Okay. First of all, I want to tell you, whether you like the stock or not, if you do have a 401k, you're somehow investing in the stock market. It is in your best interest to at least understand who manages your money and make sure that you're making at least money. Your company will hire a money manager to stabilize your money. So if you don't know what you're doing, then your money will be stable. I have a few examples here I will share soon when we get to that point.
Perfect.
You can take over.
Awesome. Yeah, just to add to what Loli say, as simple as, as I've done it with a couple of family that invited me to their homes to kind of go help them out. And then when you're talking to someone that have never done it before, have never heard of stock market before, as you guys know, many of our, African people, not, to pick on anyone, but majority of those that I'm talking to have never done it before. They don't know what it is, right? And so my approach with those families I've shown up to the doors is being, okay, I'll keep it simple as this for you to understand. It's like stock market is like, let's say, I like Amazon. I know Amazon is a big company. I've been shopping at Amazon all the time for the last couple of years. And I know many other people around my circle, my family, that like Amazon as well. And so Amazon is a big company. The owner of Amazon, he says, you know what, this company is so big for me right now that I don't want to own the whole thing myself, right? I want to keep it as simple as I'm going to break this company in small pieces. it's going to be small pieces, billions and billions of pieces, right? And to help you guys also become owner with me along in this journey, instead of me being the only owner. So those small pieces, I'm going to start selling each piece at $50, right? So you buy a piece, you and I along, we continue working in the company. You buy 100 pieces, you buy 500 pieces, 1,000 pieces, and then you add it up. As we move forward, we continue working in the company, and the more valuable the company can continue getting, right? The more money the company continue making as people continue soliciting services and liking our brand and all that. The more money the company makes. So all of you guys that have purchased pieces of the company with me, now you are called shareholders, right? You are shareholders, mean you are part owner, like you are a minority owner. You also own a piece of Amazon, right? So meaning now when Amazon makes big money, according to how many pieces you purchase from Amazon, how many pieces of Amazon you purchase, the more money Amazon make. And then at the end of each quarter, maybe every 6 months or every end of the year, now we're going to share our benefit, right? What we made, what the company made is profit. Now we're going to split the profit in pieces, also share with every single shareholder according to how much money they invest. So let's say, for instance, I invest $10,000 and in 2 years, my money, the company gains so much value. Now I'm not only going to be having my $10,000, Amazon going to share some of the profit that they made for the last 10 years. I'm going to end up having maybe an additional $12,000 on top of my $10,000 I invested. So that's how simple. Maybe I might keep it. Hopefully you guys understood that.
No, that was a great example, Patrick. So for somebody like me, if I understand your example correctly, MTP Consulting has been kind of trending upward, right? So I'm looking at the company, I'm like, hey, there's a lot of potential here, and I'd like to buy some shares, right? So I can buy, because the company is still new, I can buy those shares at a very reasonable price, just like you mentioned, right? You divide it in small pieces. So I can buy, shares. I can buy 1,000 shares, right? If it's 10 cents a share,
right?
And as MTP Consulting grows and then goes public and gets a lot of attention, then the market is going to determine the price of the share, depending on how well the company is doing. So those 10 cents per share can become $100 a share. Right. So if I bought 1,000 shares, now all of a sudden a share costs $100. That's 1,000 times 100. Absolutely. And that's so the $1,000 investment that I made is really paying dividends. So that was a great example. Thank you.
Perfect. Oh yeah, that's really good. Thanks for adding that. It makes it even way easier for people to understand. So yeah, appreciate that. We're gonna jump in. I'll share a platform that we use here that makes it so easy for everyone to sign up. It's called TD Ameritrade. So let me jump on the other side here. Let me know when everybody can see the screen. Can everybody see it?
Yes, we can.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. All right. So this is TD Ameritrade. All right. So the easy way to get here, you can just, let's say, for instance, I just go to google.com. Okay. All I have to do is just type in TD. And then right away, you see right there at the very top, TD Ameritrade. You click on that. And then you're going to have a bunch of different options. You choose the first one. It's going to say $0 commissions online trade. So meaning they don't charge you commission fees, because there's a lot of platform that, brokers that use the platform, they create their own companies and stuff like that. They charge fees for you to invest under the platform.
Yeah, and that brings me to a question to you and Loli, because you went straight to Ameritrade, and for our listeners and anybody watching the video, just kind of tell us a little bit why you choose Ameritrade. And you kind of talked about the fee, right? Ameritrade don't have any fees, but if you can just talk to and explain to our listeners a little bit more why you prefer Ameritrade.
Awesome. Yeah, as I click here, I see right there, 0 commission online trade. We get to the page. It's going to look like this, right? And so yes, one of the reasons why I personally chose TD Ameritrade, and I recommend it a lot to people, is that it's one of the best, right, among the so many others, right? And it's been around for a long time. It has really, really good reputation. And they make it so simple when you go in, how to locate things and when to sign up and how to even more, most importantly, how to sign up for, minors, like people under 18 when you go in there. So that's one of the reasons I like it. And then they're honest. And when you have a question, you reach out to them, they pick up your phone right away. They explain to you things. So they keep it really simple and honest. I personally think it's a great experience for me for the last few years. I've been using it. And that's why I recommend it to people. Because I know that there are many other platforms that maybe you call, you go to answer machine, or maybe it's, it takes forever for somebody to pick up your phone call.
Man, that's awesome. So you love the website, you love the prices, it's easy to navigate, and they have wonderful customer service.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yes,
thank you.
Yes, sir. Yep. That's what it is. And so when you get here, TD Ameritrade, you guys can see there, you're going to go right away to the far right where it says open new account. Okay. You're going to click there. Okay. It's going to be right here to take you to this next page. As you guys can see, what we're looking for here, let's say I want to open an account for me. All right. Me personally, I want to open individual. I'm going to click there if it's only me. All right. If it's, for example, me with my wife, I'll go here. Joint tenant, it's going to be me and my wife, or, someone else with his wife as well. You're going to click that. Of course, if you want a traditional IRA, Roth IRA, rollover IRA. But for now, we want to focus on either it's my personal account, I'm going to click there, or if we do on children's account, we have kids who are 17 all the way down to, as far as is little as maybe 6 months. You have to click here where it say UTMA, UGMA. That's where we're going to go if we want to open for minors, right? But for now, we don't individual. We click there and we click right here where it says open individual account. Okay, so far so good, guys?
So far so good.
Perfect. Once you get here, all you got to do here is just follow the instructions here. It's pretty simple. They keep you on point. They ask you to select here. This is optional. You go by Mr., Mrs. You choose that if you go by that. Put your first name there, middle name, last name, email, and just follow these instructions. So if there's a few things that they may ask you that you might not even have to put it in there, you just kind of skip it, right? For example, where it says it will be like asking if you have two phone number, you have non-US phone number, like right there. You select that if you have one, but if you don't, you just put your phone number and you move on. So this is how simple it is. You add all this information. So at this point of time, I don't have anyone that I can use or someone who's available right now that need to open an account. I can set it up for them, but I can try using me, right, as an example. Just gonna
and looking at this, Patrick, man, it looks so simple. I must say it feels intimidating when you talk about stock market. Like, oh, what is that? And then going in and signing up.
Right.
A lot of people don't know what to expect. But if you know how to sign up to a social media, you know how to sign up to any retail store and purchase any product, it's as simple as that.
Absolutely. Very simple. So you just put your address there. I want to keep my address private here for now, but you put your address. Let's say, just any street you want to type there. If you're in an apartment, you put your apartment number, city, put your city there, state, zip code. If you have a different mailing address, you select that. But if your physical address with the mailing address is the same, then you don't have to select that. So phone number is populated automatically in my case. I don't have a non-US phone number. And you have to select to also make sure you agree to this statement, right? The privacy statement, you have to agree on that. So check mark on that. And let me just throw a quick zip code here. Hopefully it's gonna let me move to the next step.
Yeah, I was like, glad you didn't put your whole address, man. I mean, you're a good looking fella. You don't want a lady showing up at your door, man.
Absolutely.
Madame might have a problem with that.
Definitely, right? Yeah, that's why I thought like it was a good example not to put the whole address, right? So this is just a quick example. You make sure you fill up your name, first name, last name, middle name. It's optional if you want to put that or not. Email address, all the information, telephone number, and make sure you check that box right there. And then you want to click continue to personal information. Once you do that, okay, say we compared the address, you enter blah, blah, blah. So they're not able to find the address, right, to locate it because it's Not a good address. So I'm going to edit that. I'm just going to create something, let's say, Chicken Street, something like that, right? Just to fake it, because we're just going to go.
Yeah, or, you know, I mean, from illustration purposes, I think people get the point. So if you have another account, you can skip this and then just log in so people can see what the landing page is.
Perfect. All right, cool. So now you just continue. If you get your correct address, that makes sense. Of course, you want to put your date of birth right there. Are you US citizen? So you guys want to keep this in your mind. Keep in mind that if you are not US citizen, you either have to be a resident, right? Permanent resident. But if you're not one of those, then it's going to be hard for you to open an account. All right. So you're a citizen, you select yes. If not, you select no. All right. So in this case, we're going to, you know, assume that this person is a US citizen from another country, possibly a citizen of another country. If you have, you know, dual citizenship, you want to do that, select yes. If not, you leave it there. Of course, your social security number. All right. I'm going to try maybe 00. And maybe 111. It's going to throw it 4 right there. Hopefully it's going to go through. All right. You employed? Are you self-employed, homemaker, retired, or student? You select, you know, one of those options. So I personally say, you know, you select employed. You work for some company somewhere. You put your company name. What do you do at work? You select it right there. What industry you work in? Your occupation, of course, right? Of course, the country, address, and all that. You just fill up all the way. Once it's going to be the same thing. Let's say accounting, United States. Just throw another address, zip code. You don't want to do advanced trading. You want to keep it simple. Come on, investment. So it's not going to let me move on here if I don't add an address or a company name. But like Patrick is saying, this is how simple it is. Let me just, we're going to try that. Okay. Okay. So again, any states, make sure you put your correct information. Okay.
And then one thing too, Pat, whenever you actually posting this, tu vas couper ça, and then you can actually mask some of the personal information.
Absolutely.
So, you know, so you're good.
Yes, sir. Okay. Just to get it going. Yes. All right. Okay. At least we got it going there. Then you go next again. That's the final step, right? You have a few more things to fill out. And then you just follow instruction. You have to add your income and all that. But the most important thing I want you guys to see was just how to get your account started, right? How to open it and some of these questions, and how do you open you as a parent account compared to how you open your children's account, right? Those are the main 2 things we want you guys to keep in mind. As I did at the beginning, for you as a parent, you want to make sure you click where it says individual, that's you, or if it's joint, you click for you and your wife, you open an account together. If it's for your kids, you want to make sure you select the MA, right? We're going to exit the application, go back to the beginning, and just make sure you guys understand those 2 differences, which is this is you, this is both you and your wife, or wife and husband, and this is for your kids. This is very important because I know most of us have kids, so I want to make sure you also open an account for our children. So this is where you go, right? You click there, you do that, and then you fill up your information the same way you did it for yourself. That's pretty much how you do it. I don't know if you guys have any things you want to add to that or any questions.
Yeah, I have a question. So let's say you open an account for your child who's 10 years old, right? So you pretty much control what's going in and what's going out, is that going to impact the credit? Because you mentioned you had to put some Social Security out there. And also at what age can the child, come in and redeem whatever investment you put in, or start managing the account himself or herself?
Perfect. It's a good question. Good question. And so what happened here is, that's even one of the reasons why I like TD Ameritrade, right? So when you open a minor account, which is custodial account, we call it custodial account because the kids stay under your custody, right? They're under 18. And so when you open those accounts, it's not even the kids who are managing it. You just open it under their names and social security number, all the information. But actually, you, the parents, want to manage those accounts. Unless, like in my case personally, I have my kids, 13, 14, they kind of understand these things a little bit. I'm teaching them how to do it. They're able to go in there themselves, because I want to make sure they learn how to do it as well, right? That way, when they take over, so they know how to manage it. Kind of show them a few things. As to the other question that you asked, so when you open it, you get the account started until when the kids reaches age 18. Then at that point, they can take over, they take full control of the account on their own.
That's awesome. I have a question for you, Loli. In prior conversations, and you always talk about how you're teaching your kids to be financially sound and how they've learned a lot with the trade. Can you just share with us one example on how your son was able to learn from this experience using Ameritrade?
Well, I don't use Ameritrade for my kids.
Or any platform that you use. Yes, that's fine. Right. Yeah.
I use Fidelity, Robinhood, because some other trade, they would let you know exactly what kind of trade you can buy and sell for free. Some of them you could get it at Fidelity, some of them at Robinhood, some of them at Coins, and I have a Cash App. Now, the reason why I use Cash App for the kid is because they can trade in even at the 10% of the share. For instance, if a share costs $10, it costs $10, they can begin with $1 until they reach the goal.
That's fractional share. That's good. Yes.
Yeah. At that point, I can control that, and they can only trade with the money I put on. They will not be able to just go ahead and begin making transfer. No, I can drop on $10, $100, and then I will let them make the movement. Now, the biggest question I get all the time is, how do you tell them what stock to buy? My question is always simple. What do you buy every day? What do you need? Do you like Coke? Do you drink Coke every day? If you drink Coke, then you should be buying Coke stocks. Do you like Pepsi? You should be buying that. You eat a McDonald's twice a day. You should be thinking about McDonald's stocks. You drive a lot. You put fuel on your car. You should be thinking about what fuel company or oil and gas company to buy. So the beginning is, what do you use every day? That's how you learn and how you can progress in learning every day, become better at it.
No, that's awesome. And specifically, there was one conversation we had where, your son has some cash in his hand and wanted to go and buy something. But when you talked about buying trade and profit that he could have been making, I know automatically he jumps like, actually, I don't want to spend this money anymore. So why don't you share with our listeners a little bit more about that? That's what happened there.
Absolutely. I mean, if I recall completely, that was about closing, right? They wanted to go to spend money on the Nike store. And what I showed them is what is the Nike value if you buy a stock today and what the stock could be in a few days. Now, by understanding that investing at $50 one share at the time at Nike, and today we're talking about $90, actually that share could have get you what you wanted at Nike. So you go to Nike to spend, you don't give your money to Nike, you're actually getting your money back by buying at Nike because it's somehow a co-partner. So once you understand that, you will always go eat, buy, travel with the company you are part owner. I mean, if you invest American Airlines, what is the point for you to go buy a Delta ticket?
Sure.
No, that's wonderful. Thanks for the example. Thanks for sharing with our listeners. So going back to you, Patrick.
Yes.
So in the past, when we talk about stock, it can be very intimidating, right? But it's not, which is the reason why we are on this platform. So how did you jump over, right? How did you kind of get your fear across? How did you learn more about stock, and how did you gain that confidence to go ahead and start buying stocks?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that really helped me to gain confidence, first of all, even having the idea of jumping in and doing it was from a couple of coworkers of mine, right? A few years ago. As you guys know, you have coworkers, and sometimes during lunchtime, break time, you guys having conversations. So I was lucky enough that every time we spend, our break time, we're always going to talk about things that can help each other, how we can help our families, how we can grow ourselves and secure ourselves financially for the future, right? How to, secure our children's future. And so a couple of friends of mine who've been doing the stock, who've been in the stock market for years, yeah, they brought it to my attention. As they're talking, them too, that have been there for 15 plus years, they're sharing, among them too, about stock market. And so that's how, I kind of started being a little bit more curious to ask questions, how do you guys do it? What's going on? Is it good? Is it safe? Of course, I've heard about it before in the past, but then that was one of the chances that I had to really sit face to face with someone that's been doing it for the longest, that really have a lot of experience on it. And so that's how they get a chance to start explaining to me, me being a really good friend with them, for a few years. They didn't hold anything back, man. I thank God for that. They did not hold anything back. They broke it down for me. And then I picked it up from there. I went home. I started digging. I started doing my own research, because you cannot just jump in just like that, right? I went home. From that day on, I started doing my own research. And what do you do? How do you go here? Using what they gave me as, point and, kind of ideas. So I started doing my own research, and that's how I ended up jumping in. Like, to jump in, I started small, just kind of went with a few things, start with penny stocks, of course, where you don't have to put so much money on it. You purchase a couple of stocks that cost maybe 45 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1, $2, anything that under $5, maybe under $10. Most of those are called penny stocks, right? So you can get a chance. As I've been blessed, I picked up few stocks that will cost less than $5. I remember picking up some that was like 45 cents, I think, maybe 43. I picked up like a couple hundred of them, maybe 300 or 400 of them. And in less than 2 weeks, those stocks jumped up to like $3.45, $3.50, right? And so you kind of stay smart using the knowledge that I was able to acquire from those friends. As soon as I see those jumped up, I'm like, oh, you know what? This is penny stocks. So you don't want to hold them for so long. You just want to be on point. Make sure you keep up with it, right? As you're watching the market, how the market is moving, you make sure as soon as the profits start kicking in, either you apply what we call the stop loss, meaning if the system, the platform sees like a loss is coming, the company start losing, you can put a stop loss. Okay, you know what? If you reach 5% loss, stop it. That way you don't continue losing more money. And so I apply those knowledge, man, and I was able to get some extra money using those 400 plus share that I had. And that's how I picked up and just start, doing my own research, digging, learning, taking a few lessons left and right. And that's how I'm where I am today.
Man, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. And for our listeners out there, we are in COVID time, so it's rare nowadays to be in an office, sit down in a break room, talk about stocks. As a matter of fact, many offices are closed, right? So now you're getting the knowledge from MTP Consulting. Right. So we took the break room out of the equation. Absolutely. And we're here using social media, and you're getting the knowledge firsthand, right? Yeah. So any questions you have, be sure to reach out, subscribe, hit the notification button so that you can too learn about the stock market. So let me get back to Loli real quick. So you mentioned, hey, you buy what you want, right? You buy what you use the most, which is wonderful. But a lot of those stocks are going to be a bit pricey, right? So for those who perhaps have not yet started, and Patrick mentioned buying penny stocks and get your feet wet under $5 and so forth. So Loli, how, when you get on your site, how do you determine, hey, let me purchase this one as opposed to the other? Because there are so many companies out there. So just tell us a little bit about how, you go through the process of choosing what to buy.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a very legit question. The question I have, for you, Patrick, yes, would you like to have at least 1 or 2 Bitcoins? You know about the Bitcoin, Patrick, right?
Which Patrick?
This Patrick or that Patrick?
Patrick, no.
This Patrick, yeah, I know about Bitcoin.
Of course, yes, we all do, man. It's been on the news. Yes, it's been out there and growing.
Would you like to own at least 1 or 2?
Absolutely.
Yes.
But can you afford it? No, right? It's too expensive. One Bitcoin is $50, 50,000 one. But you would love to have at least 3 or 4.
7,000 today.
Yes. Now look at the history, right? If you like Bitcoins, look at back 10 years ago where Bitcoin was. It was $7. Does it switch your mind that you would like to have something that started as a Bitcoin? So maybe the next 10 years, that stock will be like a Bitcoins. There is no guarantee on the stocks. You gotta there is nobody who can guarantee you buy this thing is going to be a blow the next 10 years. No, you the best way to get it is how much money can you afford to gamble with? Every week, let's just say for every week, every Friday, you spend $20 on pizza. Can you keep the same habit, but instead of spending $20 on pizza, spend 10 and invest 10 on small stock? There is a bunch of Bitcoins. Okay, every week I want to invest on a penny stock Bitcoins because I would lose that money anyway by buying that pizza every Friday. But if I keep my life standing, but just reducing, instead of having large pizza, I'm now getting a medium and deal with it. And the other medium, I am actually throwing in a penny stock, one of the startup Bitcoins, and I forget about it. I just consider that it's gone. And then tell me, next year, we're going to have the same conversation and you will tell me the $10 you were investing, how did you go for it? So that's one of the easiest way to start.
That's a great point. I'm glad you brought up the gambling aspect because it's never guaranteed, right? So for listeners to set realistic expectations, nobody knows what direction a company would go, right? So that's why you mentioned if you buy in the penny stocks,
right?
How much can you afford to lose if you lose, right? We all want the stock to go up, but they could be going down as well, and there is that risk factor.
Sure. Yeah, just if I can jump in there, to Loli's point, it's really an important thing to keep in our mind, right? As I've learned from those friends, I always have to be thankful to God for them. One of the things they told me was, every time you decide to put some money in the stock market, you always have to be prepared to lose the money. You see what I'm saying? So you are prepared to lose the money, meaning at that point of time, you are considering the money to not be your money anymore. I'm putting this money in the stock market, just like Patrick said. You can easily lose everything. You can also double the money, triple, quadruple the money. If you follow instructions, apply what you learn, do your research, really make right decisions, that money can double, can triple, even quadruple. Just want to add that.
That's awesome. So, well, what I can add is you can still purchase stock and do so a little bit safer, right? So, the example that I want to give is with the employee stock purchase plan, right? I think it would be a good segue to that subject. So, a lot of companies nowadays provide an employee stock purchase plan. So what that means is you get to buy company stock at a 10-15% discount. Most companies give you a 15% discount. Now, before you think and say, hey, 15% is not a whole lot, but here's an example. If you take $1,000 and put that in a CD or any types of savings account, the max that you might get is maybe 2%, right? So out of the $1,000 for that year, you make $20 out of it, having the money sitting in that savings account. However, if you take that $1,000 and you buy stock at the time of purchase, you make 15% profit, right? So out of $1,000, you made $150. So between $150 and $20, there's a huge difference, right? So here's the reality is you buy the company stock at a discounted price, you make a 15% interest on it, which is way more than you would at a savings. And it's safer because as soon as you buy it, usually the companies, you will accumulate the money. So you can put, let's say $100 a month or so, accumulate your $1,000. And then they are going to buy whatever the stock price is that day at a 15% discount. The next day you can sell and make your profit. However, just keep in mind that if you do sell it too quickly, then not not the shares that you bought with, because those were post-tax. They're not going to charge taxation on it again, but only the interest, right? That the money that you've made is going to be taxable and subject to, short-term gain taxation, which is a little bit higher. If you maintain, just like Patrick was saying, right? So the company is doing better, you maintain, so you could buy that, because a lot of companies offer what they call a 2-year look back, right? So within 2 years, I can still buy a share at $20 when 2 years later, it's already at 40, but I'm still buying at $20 and I'm still getting that 15% discount. So think about how much more money you're making, right? So that those are easy ways to make, money instead of having your money sitting in the savings. You buy the stock, you resell. If the company is doing well, it's trending upward, you can maintain and keep those stocks a little bit longer. After 2 years, then you can sell. That becomes a long-term gain. And at that point, the taxation would be lower, but you still made a ton of money. So just wanted to bring that to our listeners that, you don't necessarily have to wait and be comfortable purchasing shares on your own. You can start with your company and buy company stock at a discount. You can start at 1%. Usually you can buy between 1 and 10% of salary. So you can start at 1%, just get your feet wet, see how it works. And, but definitely take advantage of that as well.
Sure. All right. So what we want to do here, I don't know if you already have anything you'd like to jump in or not, but just wanted to share another approach here, right, that I use as well, especially like if I decide to invest a little bit more money in a particular company, right? I'll make sure I do my research on the company, right? So you don't just want to invest $5,000, out of the blue, just throw it anywhere. You want to do your research on the company. You want to understand what's the company value, what's the market cap on the company, how much they're worth, I even get to the point of, and knowing who's the CEO of the company. Where did he came from? Where did he work for the last 5 or 10 years, the CEO? How did he do in the previous company? That's what I do to make sure that I'm jumping in something that will be able to more likely, 90% of chance, make me some good money, right? I'll see how many, available stock, they have for people to purchase. So I use there's a bunch of tools you can use. One of the websites I use most of the time when I do my research before putting a little bit more money, it's called ETF database, right? etfdatabase.com. It's a perfect tool, man. You go on this website, you can search up pretty much anything you want, any company you want. And so one of the best things we do, when you get in the stock market, you understand we have what we call the ticker symbol. Ticker symbol, that's the symbol, the abbreviation, if I can say, of few letters that represent a particular company, right? Like, for example, Apple, it's represented by AAPL. AAPL, that's a ticker symbol for Apple. So when I'm going to my, one of my tools that I use, website I use to do my research before investing in Apple, and speaking of Apple, Apple is one of my best, my personal, view, right? Apple is like the number one top company that I'll invest the most money in the stock market. It's Apple. This is me. And I don't know about you guys, but Apple is, top of the line, right? And so I'll use the ETF database. If you guys don't mind, I'll share this with the people really quick so they can also see, right? For a few minutes.
Absolutely.
Here. Right.
Definitely.
Right. And so we're going to go here and share ETF database. Give me a few seconds.
Yeah, and for those out there, kind of raising an eyebrow, it's searching stocks, right? So don't be looking for people in there, man. Your ex is not there, so don't be searching for her there.
True. Yes. Definitely, they're not gonna find them in there. All right, let me know if you guys see the screen, bosses.
Yes, we can.
All right, perfect. So this is ETF database, right? All you gotta do is go once again in Google or just any internet page that you use. You type ETF, like right there, you can see right there, ETF database. I'm gonna go back home here, and this is what you're gonna see once you log in, right? Once you go in etfdatabase.com, you can see right there, etfdatabase.com. So I use these tools and it helps me a lot. Trust me, guys. So what I do when I jump on this tool, let's say I want to buy, like I said, I want to buy Apple, right? I'll go here, and especially I use this tool mostly for stocks that are like under the index, right? You know, index use like different approach compared to like just regular stocks, right? So when I'm doing, I know I want to invest in a company that under like index, compared to just any regular stocks, because index what they do is like one company, for example, have like maybe 30 or 50 different company under the umbrella. So it's like one company, but you have 50 more good company under them, right? So you just want to choose, you want to go technology field, you want to go wholesale, you want to go, petroleum or whatever, constructions. And so I'll go to ETF database. I want to search for Apple, but I want to know where is Apple? Where can I find Apple under any particular ETF, right? So what I'll do, I'll go, let's say, as far as I know, because I know how to locate that. Let's say I'll go XLY. XLY. It's one of the discretionary company where you can easily find a bunch of different company under the umbrella. So I type XLY right there on search. Click that, as I can see right there. It's gonna pull up here, right? As you can see, consumer discretionary, select sector, SPDR found. So where they add a bunch of different companies under one company. So. And then once I get here, the first thing I do, I'm looking at the trend, right? The historical trend, like the average for on the 1 month, the volume, how much was the volume for 3 months, and you can see here, in 1 month they had over $4 million, 4 million in the volume, right? As far as like shares and all that. So as soon as I get here, I look into that. So, you know what? It's at least a big company. They have a lot of shares available for people to purchase. And the next thing I do, I'll go here where it says holdings, as you guys can see right here, right? It says holdings, I'll click on holdings. As soon as I click on holdings, I'm looking here on the side. See right there, it says top 15 holdings. So this means these top 15 companies are under this particular index company, XLY, right? So you have Amazon, Tesla, blah, 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 Home Depot, all this company. Tesla's not down here, but there's another one that have Tesla and Apple. So now we're going to just use Amazon as an example. So I want to invest in Amazon. I get here. I'm looking at, it's right there. I see the symbol. And then the next thing I'm looking for is the percentage in asset, right? How much of the percentage, 100% of the share, stocks that are in there, how much of them, one of these companies I want to invest in are holding. So in this particular case, we have Amazon holding 21.35% of the entire thing. That tells me, like, you know what? Amazon is doing good. They're holding a big cap of it. That's really good. All right. So I see that. It tells me that. And I see Tesla. Tesla is also one of the best companies that I like as far as electrical vehicles. So they have 12%. You have Home Depot 8%. And then you go all the way down. You have Nike and so forth. And so once I see that, the company that I like, it's among the first maybe 2, the first 3, or the first 5. I'm like, okay, I'm going to invest in this company. They're doing pretty good. And next thing I'll do from here, I'm going to find out about the performance. All right, I'll click on performance right here. Once I click on performance, it gives me this next page, right? XLY performance, right? It gives you an idea of how they perform, right? Let's say in 1 week, for the last 4 weeks, you see last 4 weeks, okay, average percentage, it's like 5.4% for the last 4 weeks. 13 weeks average is 3.75, and you keep going. 26 weeks, you have there. In 1 year, right? 2 years. This is year to date, which is like let's say like today or yesterday. You have 1 year, 53.37%, and then you go all the way. Look at that. In average, right? This is in average. In 5 years, you can easily make up to 129, almost 130%. So this is one of the things that I use. Once I see them, like, you know what? Companies under this index are doing good. And then I'll go ahead and make my move. I purchase my share under the company. But we can talk about index in the future. Index is really, really best idea. It's my top way of investing. We can share that with you guys down the road because, I've done it before where I purchased just single stocks, different companies. But trust me, index is top of the line. As far as I know, as far as I've learned, index is one of the best way to do it.
Man, I agree with you, Patrick, man. This was awesome. I think, we can't talk about everything stock market in 1 hour or less, right? But we just wanted to introduce the stock to our listeners. But definitely we'll have to have an additional session so we can go in depth in some of these other details. But this has been amazing, learning about the stock and how to get started, how to log in and how to look for what to buy. So it's been awesome. Any final thought, Loli, that you'd like to add?
And again, everything goes to your 401k. You're already investing in stocks, period. There is no going around. Your company does invest for you. The idea is to understand who your company invests with. Are you actually making money? So just keep in mind, if you invest $100 every month in your 401k, at the end of the day, you have 1,200, right, on the stock market. But if at the end of the second year you're on the 2,400, it's questionable. Did your stock made money? It did not. How do you know that? By knowing the stock, by understanding. Now, you do have a possibility to take a small percentage of risk of your 401k. It's like a 3%. You can take that money to risk that little amount. So that way you can generate additional income. I had an example I drafted. Just to give you a quick example, we should be out of here in a minute. The example is, I pulled up a few data. One of them is data 1990, where the minimum wage was $4.25 versus 2021 or 2020, the minimum wage is $7.25. I researched one apartment complex at that time. It's in Euless here in Texas. Minimum wage, we're talking about Texas Life. The same apartment complex back in 90 was $249 off furnished. And it's safe to say, working full-time, minimum wage back in the 90s, your salary should be somewhere around $700. So now, if you compare that to today, working minimum wage, your salary is about $1,000. The same apartment complex, non-furnished, today, 2021, it costs $755. You can see the gap of inflation right there. Now, if you don't like to take a risk, you trust your company, I would just go ahead and invest my money. Guess what? Back in the 90s, you will be investing, I would say, give and take, $24, right? Based on how much you're making and based on your contribution. Maybe $24. Now, if you do $24 times 20 or 30 years, you're barely gonna retire with $26,000. It is something, but can you imagine $26,000 in today's life? How long are you gonna go? You have something, but you blew the opportunity of learning a little bit extra just so you can take advantage. You had so much. Back in the 90s, you had Facebook coming, Microsoft was there, Dell was there. So many companies you could have learned of, take advantage, and today, retire comfortably. We don't want to make that mistake. We don't want to be just comfortable. Oh, well, I have my 401k and then they invest for me. Yeah. Whatever we're thinking today, projected 20 to 30 years of plus inflation, you are not making any money, really. You got something that don't match, but making that extra effort, we definitely put you there quickly. That's what I had to say today.
Man, you just dropped some knowledge, Loli. That was wonderful, man. You got to just drop the mic. Thanks for sharing the knowledge and really blessing us with everything that you have to share, and Patrick as well, man. So Patrick, final thought on your part.
Yes, sir. I mean, the one thing I want to say, man, is I really want to encourage every one of us. The goal here is we want every family. We want every family, especially Africans, our African families. We want every parent to get involved, right? Get involved in the stock market. Get involved in 401k, of course. The company invests for you, like Loli say, but you can now also learn how to invest yourself, right? So get in the stock market, involve your family in the stock market, get your finance, literature with your kids, your wife, and teach them these things, because their future are in our hands. If we don't teach them these things, then they may end up struggling down the road, right? So we just want to encourage each one of you, if you're not involved in the stock market, you don't invest at your workplace in the 401k, you don't have life insurance, get this thing going. This multiple stream of income is going to help you and your family. Reach out to us if you have any questions, how to even just sign up for an account, like we showed you guys at the beginning. If you don't know how to do that, or if you have questions, you kind of get confused how to do it, reach out. Our email, telephone number are down, below this video. Go out there, click whatever you need to click and reach out, give us a call, send us a quick text message. We'll be more than happy to walk you through it and get you started.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Patrick, for sharing your wealth of knowledge as well. And I can't wait until we start deep diving into some of those specific subjects.
Sure.
Even myself, I think I've been investing for quite some time, but just listening to both of you today kind of made me think, right, on how to better invest and how to rethink my stock purchase habit. So that was extremely useful. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Thank you, every one of you guys. And we're really hoping that this will go a long way and the people benefit from it. Our community will go and secure their family financially. So I guess we're good for tonight. We'll see you guys on the next one. Once again, don't hesitate. Just support us. All we need, we're asking from you is just a quick subscribe. If you're not part of this channel, you're not a subscriber, go out there and click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss our next video as we move on. Next week, come up with the next step on stock market. Thank you guys for joining. We appreciate you. And once again, remember, we love you, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.